Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Here for some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Revamp. Today, we're going to be going over some of the recent updates and reveals that they've been providing over on their Twitter page. I'll be sure to have them linked down below in the description. Feel free to give them a follow just because they do provide a ton of updates on what they're currently working on. Today, I'm mainly just going to be going over some of the gameplay clips that they've been sharing. We do have some additional transformations, ultimates, and super attacks to break down. It's going to be an epic time. So without further ado, make sure to drop a like on today's video, turn on post notifications, and let's jump straight into it. Start things off with this tweet that they put out about 3 weeks ago, specifically on November 6th. Basically, Revamp is still not compatible with the current version of Xenoverse 2. So it says the Xenoverse 2 mod patcher has been updated, which means you can mod the game with the current version of Xenoverse 2, which is version 1.25. However, if we keep on reading, it does say Revamp has not yet been made compatible with the new version. So although mods work really well with the current version of the game, the Revamp mod pack does not, which it is what it is. We just have to be patient out here to play Revamp 6.0 or whatever they're going to call it, just because the recent Revamp update was 5.0, so I'm assuming it's going to be called 6.0. I don't know. Please be patient as we work on a new version. We are not sure when it will be finished, so please reserve on asking. We do have to keep in mind that these are passionate creators slash modders that are just doing this for fun for the modding community. It will basically get done when it gets done, right? You can play the game normally, you can play with other mods. I know a ton of people do look forward to the Revamp mod pack release, but the truth is that it takes a lot of time and effort. Obviously, a lot of the people who are part of the Revamp team have their own priorities and their daily lives to live. Refrain yourself from asking if you're one of those asking 24/7. It will just get done whenever it gets done, right? Shoutouts to the Revamp team, just because even though that the current Revamp mod pack does not work with the current version of the game, they're still cooking. They're still developing content in the background. As I said at the start of the video, we still have some new animated transformations, ultimates to break down. Even though we can't try out the mods just yet, we can still, showcase what's going on over on their Twitter page. And let me just say this right off the bat, the animations are peak 10 out of 10, top notch. So going over here to the first clip, look at that. Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Ooh, you guys already know, full battle. I don't think we have sound, which is totally fine. They're still probably working on things. It's a whip, right? Work in progress. I can't wait to listen to the actual sound design. Full screen this. First time transforming into the full power states. If I'm remembering correctly, he was going up against Uzaru, Baby Vegeta, right? And then here we have like the aura flames. Let's go ahead and pause this a little bit. So the start of the animation, we have Gohan, Trunks, Goten, and Pan. I believe, yeah, those were the four. I think Majub was distracting Uzaru, Baby Vegeta, right? While Goku is trying to achieve this full power state. It's cool because obviously he's already undergoing Super Saiyan 4. We can't transform into this character in the vanilla game. But Revamp said, nah, let's take things even further beyond. Let's give Super Saiyan 4 Goku an actual awoken skill. And that's where this is coming in, right? The full power states. Woohoo! And then he just starts glowing red. Wait, is that like an aura? Ooh, it's more than just a simple glow. You can see like mini aura streaks. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm not even sure if you can see it. But yeah, we don't see much of it after he transforms. Not too sure if they're going to be adding additional attacks, supers, ultimates for this specific presets. But we do have some attacks over here. Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku. This move is called Divine Dragon Strike. Isn't this unbelievable, man? Gorgeous stuff, what I'm witnessing right now. Boom! So we do have, I think, 3 different variations. First of all, this is the very first strike he did fighting Goma in the anime, right? He transformed and literally he powered up for like a minute. And then the very first move he used was this one right here. It was a legitimate super attack. They even included this as a super in Sparking Zero. You guys remember that? He does initiate it in a different way with the Ki Blast, not necessarily a punch. Here, it's a bit more accurate to the anime, right? Does this burst of energy, this aura, boom, and then that's where you just go Mach speed, Mach 10 right here. He vanishes within the thin air, and then where you going with that Beast Gohan impact frame? Ooh, stunning work, y'all. This is too great. And then, yeah, it's just going to be a knockback. That's going to be the first variation of the technique. Here we have the second version where he charges the startup. You can see the aura changing from that orange color to that magic energy from Old Man Namekian, I guess, right? The blue. And then, I'm pretty sure it will also increase the damage. Same thing going on there, but the effect is going to be slightly different. You can see how we have that star burst effect going on. That's how it was in the anime. And yeah, we even have that cinematic. Wait, do we have that cinematic for the first variation? Oh no, okay, so that's another added detail they decided to go with for the full power right here. That's cool. The zoom up, and then he does the multiple backflips right there. Does he do that for this one? We're comparing. Okay, he doesn't. I'm just noticing some minute details over here, watching them again. Kind of cool. And we do have a third version of this technique. So you probably notice at the very end of this right here, he glows red. Boom. You guys know God Vegeta, Corrupt God Vegeta, how he has like this same feature where if you do the timed inputs, you get like this cool cutscene and it increases the damage of the combo string. Yeah, same thing here, except when you do the timed inputs, at least I'm assuming, obviously this is not out, so I can't try it out myself, but if you time it correctly, it will ignite the secondary parts of the ultimate, which we do have a little sneak peek. Check this out. So they do the timed inputs, and then boom, you see that it's going to transition over to the transcendent Kamehameha. At least I think, because this cutscene right here was when he did the Kamehameha move in the anime and in Sparking Zero, right? I'm just speculating over here at the end of the day. So it could transition over to Transcendent Kamehameha, or maybe that's just going to be a different move for the character, an ultimate perhaps, because this one definitely seems like it's going to be a super, or maybe not, because you see how the background, it gets a bit darker, and that usually happens when you activate the ultimate, correct? I'm just not 100% sure if it's going to transition over to the Transcendent Kamehameha, which it kind of looks like it's going to, right? With this cutscene right here. Very interesting stuff they're cooking for sure. Now to go over to, oh yeah, the perfected Super Saiyan Blue. So this is going to be an awoken skill for the already existing blue Goku character. Something similar to Super Saiyan 4, right? Already transformed, but Revamp team said, nah, let's go ahead and add another awoken skill on top of their transformations. It's kind of nice, right? So now we could do this perfected Super Saiyan Blue versus full power Super Saiyan 4. You know what I mean? That could be a very cool video there. So let's go ahead and play out the animation. Of course, this is exclusive to the Dragon Ball Super manga. It's not necessarily in the anime. Very unfortunate. They got it down to the grain material, bro. Because he doesn't necessarily provide an aura when undergoing perfected Super Saiyan Blue. I believe it's something like the aura is kind of circulating within his body. Because obviously with all the power-ups, transformations, we have the standard aura, like how we can see it right now over Blue Goku. But yeah, after he awakens into perfected, you can see him transferring all that power, energy, aura, whatever you want to call it, within his body, right? So we don't have that anymore. We do have the glowy outline. I'm not entirely sure if that will disappear after the awoken animation completes. Or we might have it, just to indicate, saying, yeah, we're undergoing perfected Super Saiyan Blue. In the manga, he's not necessarily supposed to have or emits anything, an aura, a glow, nothing, right? But in the game, it does make sense just to let us know that we are undergoing that perfected Super Saiyan Blue. So if they go with the outline here or without it, doesn't matter to me. All very cool. I kind of feel like they should keep the outline just because, again, going back over to full power, he also emits that outline, right? So 2 outlined warriors full power would be kind of nice, as I already said. Next awoken skill, yeah, they actually just dropped this one today. Super Kaioken awoken for Goku. Now this one is a bit interesting. Super Kaioken! Oh. Yeah, we actually have audio for this, so let's go ahead and play this out first before I start talking. Super Kaioken! Yeah! Kind of epic, right? Super Kaioken! Yeah! I think that audio is ripped from Dragon Ball Legends. You guys know how a lot of the different modders would import the animations from Legends over to Xenoverse 2. Yeah, I think that's the same thing here, but with the voice line. I mean, even this technique could be from Legends. I'm not entirely sure because I don't play Legends. So whenever modders do take the animations from Legends and import them to Xenoverse 2, it's like my first time experiencing them. Most likely, it's just going to be a different presets, right? Because there's already the Goku where you can transform into Super Saiyan. There's another presets where Goku can transform into Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3. I'm assuming this one is going to be transforming into Super Saiyan and then Kaioken or Super Kaioken, right? Facial expressions going crazy. More of that vicious rage-like vibe behind it. Technically rivaling the strength of Super Saiyan 2 because Super Saiyan gives you the multiplier times 50 and Kaioken would just double that, so times 100. And Super Saiyan 2 is a times 100 multiplier, right? 3 different transformations, all for Goku. We love to see it. He is the main character. And what was the other technique? Yeah, an ultimate for Dynamo 4 Goku. Yeah, all the Gokus over here. Again, like I said at the start of the video, they do provide a ton of other updates for, you know, other characters like this. For example, here's a preview of the new Revamp Broly model by Gamer Chief. And here we have the vanilla. You know, this is the 2016 model. We have to give Dimps a break over here. It's not very cool looking, but it is what it is. And then we have the updated mod by Gamer Chief. Night and day difference. And we're also going to be getting a Second Coming preset for the legendary Saiyan warrior. Look at this, where he has the scuff marks from the fight going up against Goku. More of that golden Super Saiyan hair instead of the green. We have the battle damage outfit, you know, over the pants. Oh my gosh, dude, no, look at Trunks. Too crazy, too crazy. Playable maskless preset for Cooler. That's nice because when he first transformed, he didn't necessarily have the mask until he activated it, right? They're already revamping the recent DLC 20 characters or Future Saga Chapter 3 characters. We have Wrathful Broly over here. You can tell a little bit of the colors, the shading, the additional details over the hair model. And here we have extra pictures of all of that. I do like to go over gameplay clips mainly. But again, this is why you follow their Twitter page to look at all the updates, right? This is it for today's video. Looking forward to Revamp 5.5 or 6.0, whatever they're going to call it. It's going to be a great time. Thank you guys for the immense support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace!